Hello, this is a very fast video to respond to the most egregious and disingenuous points in Reginald's video. I plan on making a second, much longer breakdown video of what he said. So first off, I wasn't going to respond at all until I saw that you quite literally edited some of my videos out of context. Second off, your numbers do not mean anything, if I'm being frank with you, because all of my stuff was done against the boss with the AI turned on, and all of yours was against the boss with the AI turned off. You'll see what I mean in a second and why that's really
I'm
important.
able to beat your 1 billion damage bespoke boss damage build with my not yet fully refined melee build. True.
Reginald, hello. This is not from that video. You're taking a clip from one video and then showing another video, which will naturally lead people to believe that this comes from that video, which is just not true. And that's an error so egregious that it kind of prompted a response from me. So this is the actual video. No, I don't know why the frame rate is shit. It's the only clip like this. So that was more like a 7-second kill. So in case you have any complaints with that clip, I just wanted that for context. This is just regular veteran versus, in just melee, versus a Plague Ogre with the AI turned off. I don't even know why I shouted. It literally didn't do anything. His AI is off. It's literally just force of habit at this point. But as you can see, it takes us, drum roll please, about 7 seconds to kill him. And now we can get super in the weeds and we can say like, oh, well, the first stab didn't happen until like literally a millisecond before 2 seconds, whatever. 7, 8 seconds is about the TTK. So that 14 seconds, if you're going to show me 10.3 TTK on a stationary boss, then you would better take my stationary boss clip, which was 7-second TTK. And I would like to address this point next because this is another super disingenuous point. Right here, what he says.
Let's address this whole without abilities thing. This was not my claim. This is a few commenters who I imagine.
No. This is literally your claim. In fact, here it is. Your words. Unless you're hurling cracks, no one is just doing this without abilities. No, Reginald, you are literally the one to claim this. This is the main problem that I have with how you're talking about Hive Scum. You say one thing in your videos, then you go into the comments and say a completely different thing. You've even done that on this video itself. I've taken screenshots of that as well for the long response. So no, that literally was your claim. Okay, now let's go to this. Because you have a weird-ass idea on what abilities is, and it's incredibly disingenuous to apply your weird standard of it to me, who's clearly doesn't have this standard. So I'll let him speak for himself.
When someone says abilities, do they mean the actual class abilities, or do they mean the stuff the class can use actively? Because I and several others have read it as the latter.
Gee, I don't know, maybe they consider it to be the things that are literally called abilities, that have ability modifiers, that activate nodes that say on ability use. I don't know. Maybe those are the things that any rational person would consider to be abilities. Wow, it sure is good to know that the playtesters, instead of figuring out why stim supply feels like dog shit, are instead arguing what is and is not actually considered an ability and what should be called such. Always good to know that those are the things going on behind the scenes.
I don't really know of any classes pumping this kind of damage without using any major talents, keystones, or interactions, except, again, loss of the Ogren. When someone says
Wait. Hold on. So, Reginald, you consider, like, blitzes and, like, keystones and shit, all that to be part of abilities. Hold on. It took you to use your active combat... I don't even know what you guys call, like, the abilities. I just call them abilities because that's what they're called in-game. And everyone else calls them abilities as well. So, I don't know what weird shit you guys got going on. But... abilities, like Shout and Rampage, you used Rampage, you used a Keystone, and you used a Stim. So, according to you, that's like 3 abilities to get a 10-second TTK. It took me 1 active ability, the Mark Target, to get an 8-second TTK. So, what fucking argument are you making? This point strengthens my argument, and I'm really confused why you would even bring this up. Because what you said strengthens my argument and not yours, and I don't know why you would say that. Anyway... so, the next thing that he brings up...
47,250 HP.
Auric bosses do not have 47,000. Auric Chaos spawn at 47,000. Now, I don't think this is why you said this, but this is in the first, like, 30 seconds of your video. This really makes it sound like you're trying to say that the bosses I was testing on have half the health of the bosses you were testing on. This is called poisoning the well. I don't believe this was your intention, but when you start off like this, that is just naturally how you prime the audience to think. Maybe I'm reading too much into it, but I just really wanted to cover all the little stuff in this video. And this is a much more important point, like way more important.
Scum actually just plays in a cycle of ability uptime and downtime where this is regularly available over the course of a game.
You're right. I agree with you. However, Reginald, why do you not acknowledge the down cycles ever at all? This is the next super disingenuous point. You're only showing Scum. You only show Scum at its highest points. So right here.
Let's address this whole without abilities thing. This was not my
So you get a 10.3 second kill on a boss that has its AI turned off with your stim and your ability active. So you're at your highest point. What do you do in Havoc when you have to fight another boss without your stim and without your ability? Now you're doing literally less than half the damage. What, does it now become a 21 second TTK? The Veteran doesn't have high and low points. It stays an 8-second TTK like before because Veteran just has to apply Mark, which takes like 5 seconds to come back. So again, it's incredibly, incredibly disingenuous to not acknowledge that.
Infallibility into mixed Havoc 40 hordes.
What? Excuse me, Reginald. Logical fallacy. Again, this is called moving the goalpost. So I didn't bring this up because your clip, your original short, had nothing to do with this. I don't even know why you're talking about this. I can't imagine you're talking about this for any reason other than you think it makes my argument look weaker somehow, which I can't wait to debunk this because, oh boy, we got a good soundbite out of this one. Reginald, I'm going to be honest with you. I would be embarrassed to post this. This is quite literally the worst gameplay I've ever seen.
Oh. My first 3 attempts, and several more, were failures. Sure, I can do it while only taking minimal damage, but it sure is hard.
Hey guys, you heard it here first. Remember when Mr. E said it's literally impossible to keep up 25 stacks of Disrupt Destiny? This is Reginald's moment of that. It sure is hard to fight 1 Crusher, 3 Ragers, and like 20 trash mobs with gold toughness and power sword. Reginald, literally all of your friends, I don't personally know if you do it because I don't really follow you guys, but I know for a fact all of your friends that you make all of your playtest videos with literally spend every day shitting on like gold toughness and power sword and the meta and all this stuff. But you're telling me you guys for this entire time were incapable of playing with it? It's actually hard for you guys? So what's going on here? Is it OP and like whatever, or is it not?
Consumables like map pickup stims, because then we have to start talking about grenades too, and we're then going to get into what? Chem grenades and everything else? Like.
Okay, let's talk about grenades. So, Reginald, how can you possibly justify the stim, which is a consumable item that's on a repeatable cooldown, as okay to talk about, but not grenades? Which for Veteran, might I remind you, for Veteran are a repeatable they are a consumable item with a repeatable cooldown and 3 ways to generate more of them. How is this any different from the stim? The only reason, excuse me, the only reason you don't want to acknowledge this is because it makes the Scum look fucking terrible compared to Veteran. Frag grenades give Veteran better horde clear than Scum could hope to have. Crack grenades give him better single target than Scum could hope to have. And he generates about 100 every game, so he never has to worry about not having them if you play well.
Has its own stim. That is part of the core gameplay loop and balance of the class, and it seems to me totally logical that the total power of the class has to account for stimming all game long.
Okay, so how, hold on. Listen to what he just said there. Again, super disingenuous to not count grenades, man.
Has its own stim. That is part of the core gameplay
Veteran has his own grenade generation.
loop and balance of the class, and
It's part of the core gameplay loop and balance of the class. In fact, you literally can't go past Veteran's auras without taking something to support Grenade Vet. It's a core identity of the class now, so much so you are forced into at least one of these nodes.
seems to me totally logical that the total power of the class has to account for stimming all game long.
Does it though? Because you know you can just not use the stim, actually. And by the way, Reginald, here's another thing that I don't really like how you're not acknowledging. You know there's an opportunity cost to taking the stim, right? All of the in-game stims are stronger than the Chem Lab stims, or the Stim Lab stims. The cooldown one is better, the damage one is about double the rending, the attack speed one gives you more attack speed. Literally, every single in-game, in-map stim is objectively stronger than its cartel special counterpart. And you can't pick them up and freely use them if you're using the cartel stim. You completely do not acknowledge this, but that is absolutely opportunity cost that needs to be acknowledged. I know you want to say that that should be removed from the discussion, but I'm sorry, it's in the game. You can't just pretend like that's not how it works.
I mean, just after the Born and Duty update, Tanner Lindbergh was still saying frags are meta. Just after the Born...
They are? Excuse you? Hey, Reginald, again, I really don't like being misquoted like this. I've literally responded to Reddit comments doing the same thing to me. I don't know why you thought this was going to work. If you had let that clip finish playing or use the second video where I talk more in depth about it, I mentioned that cracks are going to be the meta as long as Rotten Armor is a thing in Havoc rotation. And as soon as Rotten Armor rotates out of Havoc, you're going to see frag grenades become arguably a bit better than they are. And you know what? Rotten Armor is out, and personally, most of the veterans that I know that like do fucking duo, solo, Havoc 40 shit, they're switching back to frag grenades because they're just more overall, they have more overall utility, and you don't exactly struggle for single target damage as shown before. So no, like, please represent my opinion honestly. I think cracks were meta as a counter to a Havoc modifier. Once the modifier's gone, I think frags are still overall stronger. And I still believe that, and I've never changed that opinion. Just, hey, for the duration of this Havoc meta, they're going to be stronger. Why do you feel the need to not represent me honestly?
If this class was weak. And weakness is what people are saying of this class.
But it's not what I'm saying in this class. I don't think you meant to do this, but this is another logical fallacy. This is strawmanning and poisoning the well. Basically, you're saying, well, other people are saying this class is weak, and you're saying that in a video where you're responding to someone specific. This naturally primes people to believe that you are inferring, like, the only thing they can reasonably infer from that is that the person you're talking about also thinks it's weak. Which, if you had just waited like a day before posting this, you would have got to see my thoughts on the class, which is that it's not weak at all. In fact, we have damn near identical opinions on the class. So again, I don't know why you feel the need to try and like subtly misrepresent me here. All in all, this video was not very good, and I find it incredibly, incredibly suspect. All this stuff is very misleading, very disingenuous, and I would like to respond to the whole thing, but that's going to take a lot more time, especially gathering clips, evidence, numbers, etc. But the final thing I'd like to say, and I didn't clip it, so you're going to have to forgive me, Reginald, why do you just assume your numbers are infallible? At the end of this video, you say, well, blah, 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 we have the numbers, and then you show your chart of inaccurate numbers. Why do you just assume your numbers from your own personal testing are accurate? I mean, you said it yourself. Where is it? You said it yourself. You are terrible at playing veteran. No shade, no shade. You've literally said it yourself. You're struggling with what is arguably the second best build in the entire game to kill not even an auric level density horde. Which I don't think you should be shamed for this at all, by the way. I'm fucking joking around when I'm like, oh, I guess gold toughness actually isn't that overpowered, huh? But, like, if this is how poorly you play veteran, what is the point in trusting your numbers on it? Second off, you say it only takes you 28 seconds to kill this as veteran, but it took you 26 seconds of Hive Scum. So, are you telling me, Reginald, that a good Hive Scum that is super fucking fragile can only kill a mixed horde 1 second faster than, like, a legitimately terrible veteran player? So you're telling me a noob on veteran can kill a mixed horde faster and with much more innate tankiness, or I'm sorry, just 1 second slower and with much more innate tankiness than Scum going all out doing the same thing? That sounds ridiculous. I know you brought up Desperado, and that's something I want to talk about in the more long-form thing, because, like, this whole video is just absurd. I cannot believe you actually think this way.